The Tobay Beach In-Water Boat Show is back at beautiful Tobay Beach, October 4th through 6th. For all the details, visit nyboatshows.com. Long Island's only in-water boat show features new and used models that are priced to sell with exclusive boat show discounts. This show has it all. Children will enjoy free face painting, and on Saturday and Sunday, the first 100 kids will get a free life vest. Every day is free parking and free water service provided by Sea Tow Saturday and Sunday. Friday's Heroes Day with free admission for first responders and family. For all the details, visit nyboatshows.com.
Mr. Goodwin is ready. What do we have?
We have a little song before it.
I don't
care what they say. I won't stay in a world without love.
Boy, do we need some love after all these things we're talking about. Michael Goodwin, the world is on fire and the world's on chaos. And you talked about this in your column. A lot of it courtesy of the Biden-Harris administration.
A lot of it?
All of it.
Yes, thank you, Rita and John. Yes, I used the president's speech at the UN yesterday, which I thought was dreadful in the sense of his not being aware, I think, of his role in this and his policies, how they have set these clashes in motion and created this danger. I mean, the talk of World War III is louder than I've ever heard it. And certainly we had our showdowns with the old Soviet Union in the 60s and thereafter. But now you have this kind of multipolar World War talk of Iran and China and Russia, North Korea. I mean, the cat is really out of the bag, and it looks like it is headed toward this kind of giant clash. And Biden just seems to be, whistling past the graveyard. I mean, he doesn't seem to be aware of these things or take them seriously. And so he gave this speech where he talks about, the horrors of Iraq and Vietnam, but I've been around long enough to know that things get better, things can get better. And my retort to that is yes, but then we had leaders, and we don't have a leader now, and things will not get better under his leadership, which will soon pass. But certainly, if Kamala Harris is elected, I think we'll be even deeper in the soup.
Yeah, I agree. Judge Weinberg.
Michael, the problem is you're not just dealing with people who have military ambitions or territorial ambitions. You're talking about fundamental zealots who believe in otherworldly rewards and believe that they have to dominate by the sword everybody else. There's nobody who is safe. And that's why it really is. It's not Israel's problem. It's Western civilization's problem, Michael.
Absolutely. Years ago, Henry Kissinger said that Iran had to decide whether it is a country or a cause. And all these years later, I think we can say it's a cause. It has decided to be a cause to create war and aggression and mayhem throughout the region, ultimately aiming at what it calls the little Satan, Israel, and the great Satan, the United States. Now, Iran has never denounced that, and it still chants. People still chant that at some of the military rallies. And yet President Obama and now President Biden both act as though Iran is just another country, and that they can woo it into some sphere of cooperation and global contributions. But I think they have totally misread what Iran is about. It is a cause. It is Islamic fundamentalism, and it is committed to that around the world. And so from the supporting Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis in the Mideast to trying to assassinate President Trump, Mike Pompeo, maybe John Bolton as well. I mean, these are not, and spreading mayhem throughout, these are not the actions of a country. This is an ideological zealotry, and Joe Biden has not come to grips with that reality.
And they don't understand the eschatology of that religion. They believe in the 12th Imam, the Almighty. and they believe the only way he returns is through the shedding of blood. So they're the only country that really makes me nervous about having a nuclear device because they will use it.
And they're close.
And why they have it. Why the White House don't understand that is beyond me. They need to study the eschatology.
But you know what's sad though, you guys? Yesterday, when the president addressed the UN General Assembly, it's his final speech, it's his swan song. What does he do? He referenced climate change 6 times, and he referenced Iran, which we all agree is an enormous threat, 2 times. What does that say to you? I mean, that says everything to me, Michael Goodwin.
They call it an existential threat.
Right.
And then he followed up by going on The View.
Yes.
Right.
And by the way, did you see his performance on The View, guys? Today, they asked him, the ladies on The View said, so we heard you got pushed out by Pelosi. And he was like, well, that's not really what happened.
No, he's right. Michael, it wasn't just Pelosi, it was Obama and Schumer as well.
Yeah, he left them out.
Absolutely. Look, they were all covering for his disabilities until the debate in June with Donald Trump. And then they realized they couldn't hide it anymore and that he was going to lose by a landslide. And so they effectively pulled a coup to take the nomination away from him. I think perhaps in the future we will learn the ins and outs and the details and what threats they made. Did they threaten, as there have been reports, they threatened to remove him as president, to invoke the 25th Amendment and to remove him as president. So he got to keep the job as a consolation prize. But we can see the world is getting worse. And look, if you are running one of those countries we just discussed, you would say, well, we forget for sure we have 3.5 months of Joe Biden's tenure left, so we can do what we want to do then. Then if Kamala Harris is elected, we have 4 years. If Donald Trump is elected, he's going to push us back. So what are we going to do? I think they're going to use this time to deepen their aggressions, to go full steam ahead with only Israel stopping them in the Mideast. And then if it looks like Harris is going to win, then they know they got a playground for the foreseeable future.
Michael Goodwin, do you think the Israeli people have confidence that if they got into a bad skirmish with Iran, that will the United States back them up?
That is the big question, John. I would be surprised. I mean, I think Joe Biden has shocked a lot of Israelis with his commentary. You know, it's very interesting. When Barack Obama left the presidency over his treatment of Israel vis-a-vis Iran and with the Palestinians, Obama's approval rating in Israel was in single digits. Then you have followed him, you have Trump, who does the Abraham Accords, moves the embassy to Jerusalem, approves the annexation recognizes the annexation of the Golan Heights, and supports Israel and attacks Iran, drones Soleimani. Trump becomes the most popular president, American president in the history of Israel. I mean, the whole country is wowed by Donald Trump. And now you shift again to Biden, who is clearly now coming into Obama territory with Israeli disapproval and fear that he has abandoned Israel in the midst of the Hamas invasion, and always says, well, Israel has a right to defend itself, and then comes the but. And the but is essentially you can't leave your own border. You can't really attack. You can only defend. Well, what kind of war is that? As my colleague Douglas Murray says, Israel's the only country that's not allowed to win a war. So I do think that there is a lot of fear about what will happen if Harris is elected among many Israelis, because it's not just about Israel, it's about Iran, it's about all of those groups that it sponsors, it's about sort of the terrorist network around the world. If it is emboldened and successful in the Mideast, and it's going to turn more and more of its attention to the United States and to European countries.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we're on the radar already.
We have a mess in our hands, whether it's the Pacific, whether it's the Suez Canal, whether it's Lebanon, whether it's Ukraine. We're on the verge of a big mess.
Don't leave out the China Sea and the Philippines.
Yeah, don't leave out that.
True. Yeah, and I think we should not overlook that the role of Afghanistan in all of this. It really did, I think, alert the world that America was in retreat and that Joe Biden could be rolled. And that's exactly the approach they have taken.
Absolutely. And she was the last one in the room. Let's not forget that, too.
That's right.
Michael Goodwin, thank you so much, and we'll catch up again soon.
Partidazo. Hattrick en la final, goleaste una y otra vez. ¿Cómo te sientes?
Como obtener un nuevo iPhone una y otra vez. Acabo de conseguir hoy el nuevo iPhone 16 Pro.
¿Cómo?
Sí, y con AT&T Next Up Anytime puedo hacer un upgrade antes de tiempo cada año.
Increíble.
Siéntete como un MVP otra vez. Descubre cómo obtener el nuevo iPhone 16 Pro por cuenta nuestra y el último iPhone cada año con Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Conectarlo cambia todo. Sujeto a cambios. Aplican cargos, términos y restricciones. La oferta de $0 puede no estar disponible en futuros iPhones. La función Next Up Anytime puede descontinuarse en cualquier momento. Visita tt.com/iPhone para más detalles.